Hi everyone, Aiden here with etrailer. Today we're taking a look at the Swagman Current platform style bike rack on our 2015 Toyota 4Runner. Now this is going to hold the bike in these wheel cradles and primarily by our frame. We've got a frame hook up top holding the bike in those cradles, and then there's two wheel straps at the bottom as secondary points of contact to keep everything nice and secure. Overall, it does a pretty good job of getting the bike nice and still, and with this, it's designed to be used with e-bikes. You've got a 60-pound weight capacity per bike, so it's capable of holding some of those heavier bikes. Now, because it makes frame contact, you do want to avoid carbon frame bikes, and because it's a frame hook, if you have an alternative frame, you do want to look out for a bike adapter bar. Just because the alternative frame, it doesn't have a good spot for this hook to grab onto, and it could result in the bike not fitting at all, or just getting a kind of loose fit. With this, you do have the ability to tilt away with bikes loaded. There's a handle towards the front that you can pull and lower it down. And I will say, it doesn't distribute the weight super well when you tilt it, so as soon as you release that weight's coming down pretty quick. So if you have it fully loaded with two e-bikes, just watch out for that and make sure you're ready for it. But here, we've got tons of room, even with the larger tailgate of the 4Runner, to sit down, maybe change our shoes before or after a ride, or just get stuff out of the back if we need it without having to unload the bikes. And then, whenever you're lifting it back up, that lever will just snap back in on its own, nice and easy. Getting the bike unloaded, we'll start by undoing the wheel straps, pressing in on the button, undoing the ratcheting strap. Now these straps are extra long to accommodate fat bike tires up to 5 inches. And then so are the cradles too. And then the hooks here fully removed from that center mast and have lock cores on them, so if you want to lock up your bikes, you can. You've got that security aspect. Now for me, I like to just fold this center mast down. You kind of have to do it one-handed because you have to have the other hand on the bike to make sure it doesn't fall. But once you do, it's really easy to just lift it up and away, rather than trying to fight with the center mast and get out of the way. Because the center mast uses another lever rather than pins and clips, it makes it pretty easy to do one-handed, so that's great to see. Usually that's a big sticking point for me with these racks, because the center mast does make things more difficult, but it's easy enough to work around with this. Then I always like to replace these hooks just so I know that they are accounted for and not going to get lost. Now from here, let's take a moment to get some measurements. There's a really good rise in the shank, and already your hitch is high off the ground. So the lowest point at the back end is going to be 25 inches off the ground. It's more than enough, over 2 feet for any application, I think. You're not going to have to worry about bottoming out with this. Overall distance added to the back from the bumper to the outer edge of the rack, it's going to be about 27.5 inches. Not too bad. The whole bike rack sits pretty condensed. Now, if you wanted to save some space, you can fold it up using that same lever as before to fold it up whenever bikes are unloaded. Now, because it doesn't stick out super far and it's a pretty small bike rack, it doesn't save as much space, but it does cut things down to 17 3/4 of an inch to the back right here. So that's going to help with parking spots and maybe even your garage at home, depending on the room you have. Here at the hitch, it is working with our 2" by 2" receiver tube, and it does work with that factory hitch on the 4Runner. A lot of other bike racks might have some issues with the factory hitch, particularly just with these 4Runners, but this one works just fine. It has an anti-rattle bolt that holds it secure, and that anti-rattle is locking, key-to-like to the locks on the handles, so everything's under one system. And with it like this, it doesn't block your license plate or your backup camera when folded up. And overall, the Swagman Current is a pretty solid e-bike rack. It comes in at a really appealing price point and comes with a lot of nice convenience features like that folding and tilting. I think if you wanted to take a step up, you could check out the Inno tire hold. That one is going to work with any sort of bike because it doesn't make frame contact. And if you did want to check out another option, the Ceres Freedom is going to make frame contact, but it'll work better with alternative frames because it can adapt to those alternative frames rather than using a frame hook. Either way you go though, I think it's going to be a solid fit for the 4Runner, and I think the Current definitely fits on here well. Thanks for watching.
Here on our test course, we'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action. This simulates turning corners or evasively maneuvering. Once we get to the alternating speed bumps, we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Once we get to the full speed bumps, we'll see the up and down action. This will be just like driving in and out of a parking lot, parking garage, or driveway.